Hi everybody, my name is Melissa and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing, if you like this book, then you'll most likely probably like this book. I've seen these videos on and around YouTube and I really enjoy watching them, and I had a couple ideas when I was watching these videos, so I thought I might as well share them with you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the very first set of books that I want to talk about would be Paper Princess by Erin Watt and the Falling Crest High series, the first one, by Tijan. So this book right here is about a girl named Ella, and she has been taking care of herself for a very long time, and her mom up until she passed away. So one day she's at school and this guy comes up and says, "Hey, I'm your guardian and you need to come home with me because I'm going to be taking care of you." And Ella's like, "I don't know you. I don't want to have anything to do with you," and she ends up running out of the room, out of the school, and you end up seeing her later on at her work, where she has been supporting herself with her mom's old ID to work as a stripper. This gentleman named Callum Royal ends up showing up, and he ends up bringing her back on his private jet to his house. On the trip over to where she will now be living, Callum Royal is convincing her to stay with them by giving her $10,000 and then each consecutive month another $10,000 until she graduates. She needs the money desperately, and so she says, "Fine, I'll do it," and she goes with him. She finds out that Callum actually has 5 sons, and they are known as the Royals. So the guys, they don't really want her there. They think she is just after the money, and Reed is the leader of the brothers. He is the oldest, and whatever he says kind of goes. Fallen Crest High by Tijan is about Samantha, and her mom is divorcing her father and moving in with her boyfriend. So her boyfriend is really rich and he has 2 sons. Mason and Logan Cade are the most popular guys in this town. They are the star football players for the team and really for this town. So it's kind of this rivalry between the private and the public schools, and it's kind of like this big deal. Samantha finds out that her boyfriend has been cheating on her with her best friend and some other girls, and her other best friend was covering this up. So she kind of doesn't deal with things very well. She ends up using running as an outlet and running until she kind of can't feel anything anymore. Both of these stories have to deal with the rich boys that they live with who are trying to make their lives living hell. They're very similar in plot, where it's a girl who doesn't want to be there and the guys, they don't like her, they're trying to push her away. She is tough, take no nonsense, and honestly, I really liked both of them. If you read one or the other, I would definitely highly check it out if you liked either of them. The next set of books that I want to talk about would be All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven and Ryan's Bed by Tijan. So this is the second book that I have by her. So let's go ahead and talk about All the Bright Places. So Finch is a boy who is kind of obsessed with this idea of killing himself and goes through all of these different ideas of ways to do it. Violet is a young girl who is dealing with her sister's recent death. When Finch and Violet meet, it's on the bell tower where they kind of get this connection, and they're both suffering, they don't know what to do. So they decide to do this special project where they find the natural wonders of the state and kind of get this idea of, like, you know, reason to live kind of thing. These characters can be themselves when they're with each other, even if the outside world is not so welcoming. Ryan's Bed by Tijan is one of my favorite Tijan books that I've ever read. It's about a girl named Mackenzie whose twin sister just committed suicide, and she dropped off at a brand new family friend's house, and she's kind of left there. The first night that she's there, she ends up in Ryan's bed and falls asleep. She doesn't realize that it's his bed and he lets her stay. So it kind of becomes this thing where she finds comfort with him. Ryan helps her get over this death of her sister and kind of, you know, helps move forward in life. And he isn't really doing anything out of the ordinary or spectacular to make her, you know, go through her grief, but it is such an amazing story, and I don't know how many times I cried in this book, but it was so, so good. And also, the twist at the end is something I was not expecting, but my mind was blown, and it was really good. The reason why I chose All the Bright Places and Ryan's Bed is because they both deal with teen suicide and thoughts of suicide. The same feeling that I got while I was reading All the Bright Places was the same feeling I got when I read Ryan's Bed. So it's just this emotional stories that have you thinking and really feeling for the characters. It's just, it's heartbreaking. Both of these stories are incredibly emotional and very hard-hitting, but absolutely wonderful to read if you like that kind of story. The next set of books that I want to talk about would be The Black Prism by Brent Weeks and Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. The Black Prism is about Guile, who is the prism. So basically that means he can control all of the different colors and the entire spectrum. In this magic system, the more colors that you can control, the more powerful you are. Guile finds out that he has a son and he goes in search for him. This story has so much build up and has such an amazing magic system that was very easy to understand, and I have not seen anything really like it. It's really good. This story has a very intriguing plot with different threats coming from different angles, and the action scenes are incredibly well written. Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson is about two sisters, and one of them is groomed to be the wife of the God King, and the other one is kind of let to do whatever she wants. So she's, you know, off doing her own thing. At the very last minute, their father, the king, decides to switch these sisters and sends Ciri rather than Vivina. I think I'm saying that right. Warbreaker is a political plot-driven book. It really focuses on character development rather than the action scenes. Out of Sanderson's novels, this is the one that has more of a focus on romance as well. So I believe these books are very, very similar in the fact that they are both multiple point of views. They both have similar magic systems in the fact they use color in some way. So the Black Prism obviously uses color way more than Warbreaker does. Warbreaker has a magic system that deals with breaths, but still it uses color and that sort of stuff with it. Both of these books are incredibly well written and have a very digestible magic system. Warbreaker is a standalone novel and Black Prism is actually I think it's a 5-book series now, so there is some differences in that, but I really highly suggest you pick up either one of these if you enjoyed one of them and you're looking for something very similar. The next set of books that I'm going to talk about is going to be Cinder by Marissa Mayer and The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid. If you have not heard of the Lunar Chronicles, this is a very, very popular young adult series. Cinder is a retelling of Cinderella, hence the name and the shoe. Cinder is a cyborg mechanic living in New Beijing. She's blamed by her stepfamily for the illness of her stepsister, and she somehow gets herself entangled with the evil queen's plot. This is a very fun book and I really enjoyed reading it, really all of the series. Cinder is one of my favorite out of the 4. Cinder is a very strong-willed character that really focuses on gaining her freedom throughout this book. The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid is about a diabolic named Nemesis. Diabolics are created in this world to protect the person that they're created for. In this case, Nemesis is protecting the senator's daughter. When the emperor summons the senator's daughter, Nemesis goes in her place and becomes her. This is a story of Nemesis finding her humanity when she's been told she doesn't have any. Both of these are sci-fi stories that deal with strong female characters. They also either are made with parts that were created by man or entirely created by man. They also both follow a plot that deals with royalty and saving humanity. So if you are interested in one of these books, I definitely would check them out. Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching if you like this book, you'll probably like this one. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I would love to have you join me for the next videos I have coming up. And I hope you have a great day and happy reading. Bye!